The power of love cannot be expressed with words. Only power can recognize power. Power is knowledge because knowledge is life. Knowledge is sire or science. Life is knowledge through love. Making love is having sex. So the science of life is nature. Nature is the science of life. So they say that if you search for wisdom as if you're searching for hidden treasures, then you will find something that you weren't expecting to see, or something that you are actually literally expecting to see. Because what you're looking for is something that is hidden, something that you haven't, that has not been exposed to light. It is hidden because it is in darkness. So everything that is hidden is in darkness. So the first commandment is let there be light. Let there be light means let there be awareness, because knowledge is light. Awareness is the word of God that gave that commandment, let there be light. So when something is hidden, it is in the darkness, which means that it is within a place where it cannot be seen. It is in ignorance. So things that are mysterious are things that we are ignorant to. This is why the verse would say, it is the glory of God to hide things. It is the glory of kings to reveal things. So when you understand that the revelation is the emancipation, the book of Revelation, that book is very scary, very, very scary to a lot of people. But that is the book of freedom. But that should be the book where people are most eager to understand, to read, and to actually know. But that's the book that's most avoided because of what is in it. But understanding the love is to have that emancipation in your heart and in your mind, and through this you have the realization of your path. So having the mind that is fueled with the understanding of who you are is the basis of nature, is the natural order of everything, because the knowledge that first came was the light. This light was literally knowledge, and all knowledge is science. So when someone says science, what they're saying is sire. So to sire is like a scissors. So something that you cut up, something that you dissect, something that you look through. So all knowledge is scientific, or all science is knowledge, and all knowledge is light. And all light is consciousness and awareness. Let there be light. So understanding that knowledge is a commandment. Knowledge comes in Genesis, in the gene and the generation. Knowledge is the general commandment. So the general of an army commands, informs, in a formation, in formation. So the general tells the army to move in a certain formation because it commands. This is knowledge, this is awareness, this is light, this is understanding. So having a generation is to understand knowledge, is to understand that knowledge is that movement, is the awareness, and is the light, and is the sight. This is how the blind should not lead the blind, because they'll fall into a ditch, because all sight, all light is information or is movement. So all knowledge is currency, is power. This is why like a river current is moving in a current, and knowledge is something that is now, current, it's now. So this is why it is power. So knowledge is all that we have, and having knowledge of nature is to have the knowledge of knowledge. Having knowledge of nature is to have the knowledge of knowledge, because nature is knowledge. Everything that happens is natural. N-A-T. This is native. This is naked. How they were naked was how they were natural in the garden. So nativity, everyone's nativity is the seed. The seed occurs naturally in nature. Every seed is what grows to be a tree, what grows to be green. So everyone's nativity is a seed. Everyone comes from a certain seed, and this is the fruit of the woman. So the woman actually has this fruit, and then she actually becomes fruitful. Be fruitful and multiply, because they know each other. Adam and Eve knew each other, which means that they had knowledge of each other. Knowledge is light. Knowledge is life. So light is life, right? So the nativity of a person, the natural blend, the natural awareness, having this truth, this is what builds the natal, the native, the nation. Having the knowledge of what is native. This is why we call it the motherland. This is the national, everyone's nationality. This actually is the rational. When you think of nation and ration, this is one letter allowance. So this is the same sound signature. Nation is ration. So all the nations are built on justice, on truth, right? On knowledge, on awareness. All truth comes from the awareness of light. Let there be light. Let there be information. The way things are. The way things are is nature. Nature is natural. This is the way things are. This is information. This is how the world is always information. How it's moving, information. Wi-Fi is natural. Like, this internet thing is natural. This is why all of the technology is created to be in nature, but it was taken away out of its natural, natal environment, and then it was put into a different balance, different rationale. So the different ratios are out of harmony with what nature is supposed to be. So this is a lack of knowledge. This is darkness. This is ignorance. When we're supposed to have this technology is a technique. Any form of technique that was first developed is technology. So having the understanding of nature is having the understanding of ratios, which is balancing. So when we think of nature, we always know that nature is always in the state of balance, because everything is in nature, and nature blends everything at the same time, in the same way, all the time. This is the balance of nature, because nature is so rational. The ratio, the national, the natal, everything that forms a person in the stomach is so balanced. Person comes out with this harmonious sound. When a baby comes out, this is a person per sonic. So when the baby comes out, the person has these organs inside of them, and they start to make a sound organically, naturally, natively. And this is how they know, through the sound, through awareness, through knowledge, that they're supposed to go for milk, that they're supposed to go for food. Like a baby kangaroo literally is born, and in a few minutes it jumps into the mother's pouch, starts to look for food, naturally, organically, in balance, in sync. This is an algorithm. So this is the highest form of knowledge in the form of a natural algorithm, how the stars are aligned. This is why the Word of God creates the universe. The Word creates the universe, because everything is natural. The Word of God is the logos. A logos is a log. Logs are in nature. The logic of God, the logos of God, is written on a log, on a paper, with another log, a pencil or a pen. The logos is nature. Everything is natural. This is organic. This is the organs of the body, the organism, the organ in a church that we play in the temple of God. This is the sound. This is the soul of man, the temple of God that was built as the soul of man by Solomon. So having this nature or this natural awareness is to have knowledge of science. This science is truth. And when you look for truth, what you're looking at or what you're looking for is to dig deep into what God has put somewhere, because it was put into a certain place, but people were not able to find it. But people know that it was put somewhere. When you read the whole chapter, when Job is speaking about how to find wisdom, and he's talking about going into the deep recesses of the earth, all of those places, because wisdom and knowledge was put somewhere. But how can you find it? How can you? Will you find it in a diamond mine? You're supposed to find it with that type of vigor, that type of anxiety, that type of zeal. That is the seal, right? That type of zeal. So when Jesus went into the temple and started to beat people up for selling things in the church, he says that his zeal is overcoming him. This is what God means when he says that I am zealous, jealous, the jealous God, the zeal, to find the hidden treasure, the grit, to have that type of zeal is what they're talking about in that chapter. Looking for something that he put somewhere, but no one can find it where it was put. No one finds it where it was put. Where was it put? Where is the place of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding? Where is the place of heaven on earth? Where is the place of heaven on earth? Where is the place where God existed? Where was the Garden of Eden? Where did life begin? So even though they see, they do not see. Even though they hear, they do not hear. This is the truth in this natural algorithm. That even though people are looking at things that are not true in this reality, they are believing a lie. So God therefore says, behold, I have sent them a deep delusion, so that even though they see, they won't see. So even in this natural algorithm, there is this test, there is this truth, the testament, that is testing everybody to see how they are within the balance of reality, in synchronization with the truth. To have reality and to have the truth. So what do you do if the truth is not reality? What do you do if the reality is not the truth? So what is the truth? The truth is what we trust, what we have. Is money true or is it fake? Right? In our reality. Is money true or is money fake? So in different realities, it's different. So having the grounding of truth. Truth can be anything that a person believes in. This is belief. This is be a leaf in a log, in a logic. This is the substance of things unseen, the assurance of things hoped for. Be leaf, be green, be leaf, be life, be breath, be breathe, be the breath, because the trees make us breathe. So the trees is actually the knowledge, which is our breath, the breath of life that God gave into his nostrils was from the trees, which are the bee leaf. So this is to be the leaf, to be the evergreen, because people have to be fruitful. So you have to be like a tree planted by streams of living water, whose leaf is always green. So the belief. This is why it's impossible to please God without faith, right? But to know the truth is what Jesus died for. So a person who will come to this place and die for what he believes in had a certain logic that everyone is supposed to see, because sight is the light, which is Christ. Okay? So we have to see what the Son of God did, the Son of the light did. So this is what we're looking at as the logic, the logos, which is nature or natural, native. This is how he came to save the nation. Okay? Jesus, the logic, the logos, the tree of life. They called him the branch. Behold, I am sending a branch. They called him the stump of Jesse. He says, behold, I am the vine of living water, and you are my branches. You're just my logs, my trees, my logics. But the seed that was spoken to is the gene that was spoken of in Genesis. General information. The seed in Genesis is general information that is about the seed that generates information. Wow. The soil created the person, right? The gene was put into the person so that he could be a fruit. Behold, the sower sows the word, right? The seed is the word. Behold. So when he says behold, it means that behold, something is being uttered. That's an oracle. That's a mystery. That is ignorance, when you don't know what it's talking about. So let there be light. Bring forth light. So understanding the life of Christ is to have a bearing on the truth, is to understand that he lived and died for what he believed in, or he lived and died for reality, for the truth. What the lie was actually religion. Okay? When Jesus came, he says to the Pharisees, you are sons of Satan. Woe to you, Pharisees, for from you, like he says so many things. He says all of these things. He says all of these things to the Pharisees, to the religions, to the establishment of that type of belief system. What he fought against was Caiaphas. What he fought with was Cephas. Understand the word of God, because these are the words, the name that is called, right? The name that's called by no other name. This is the sound of God, the word of God, the truth in God, the reality of God. So Caiaphas and Cephas, these two are fighting against each other. Understanding that the Bible is speaking about these symbols, this understanding, speaking about these empires, these nations, the native, the natural. This is understanding the book of Daniel, when he's speaking about this metal image, this Nebuchadnezzar's dream, when he has this head of this thing, the chest of this thing, this mixture, this babbling. So everything is just mixing. So until the stone is thrown to this thing and then it crumbles. This is understanding Caiaphas and Cephas. This is understanding Cain and Abel. This is understanding this world that is filled with lies of Babylon that are removed by the truth, the stone, the rock. This is to have heaven on earth, the understanding of Jesus' light, his life as Christ. Right? This is truth, this is love, this is awareness, this is knowledge, this is science. This is to dissect, to sire, to cut up like a scissors. Da Vinci, they say he invented the scissors. Alright, because he's a man of science, right? cutting it up. So understanding the truth is to look at reality, right? And look at what the Word of God is saying within this natural algorithm. And what he's saying is that there are certain lies and delusions that are diluting our minds and perverting how we live within this understanding of life. That we're not able to expound the true essence of love, the true message of glory, the true understanding of life through love, through living, to be green, to be fruitful. We can't understand that because we don't have life or love or laughing anymore. This is important. When people have the fruit of the Spirit, the first thing that comes is love. The second thing that comes is laugh. And these are the two that generate the 9. And 9 is the number of the womb, the completion. And this is understanding the underlying ground. This is the womb of the earth. Love and laugh. But now, we only cry, right? We only complain. Because something unnatural has taken place. And this is the delusion. Because God made everything good. So if something is not good, it is not God. So this is understanding the truth in this reality. Understanding the truth in this reality is to be in the like everything that has the word of truth also has to sound true. So the sound and the sun, this is the nous and the sound, because the nous is where we get every noun. Like this is to understand where our language comes from. Okay? When Jesus was nailed on the cross, something interesting happened. They say that like, hey, you say that you're the king of the Jews? Like, no, I don't. But then when he was nailed on the cross, what the Romans did was to put his was to put his epitaph saying that king of the Jews in 3 languages. They put it in Greek, they put it in Roman, they put it in Hebrew. They put it in Greek. They put it in Latin. There is no Roman. Romance is everything else. Actually, this is Roman, what we're speaking right now. But they put it in Latin, Greek, and Hebrew. These are the languages that these were interpreted as being this logos, this logic, and this was put to this understanding. Okay, so this is to have the knowledge of that rock that was put in place in order to expose the truth and to know the roots. And these roots are the words. So these words are created in languages. This is why it's important that they put it in 3 languages, because they actually created these words. This is actually a trinity of languages that was named there. And this is the word. And through this, we have all of the languages in the world, like Sanskrit is there, Chinese is there. All of these languages are where all of the languages are connected. So understanding the word of God is understanding that knowledge, which is understanding the truth. The roots, which is to understand what the word is supposed to be. So when he was nailed, when everything was happening, this all, first of all, like a major clue, is that why is it important? And this is just where I'm just going to end this whole video. Like, why is it important that Jesus had to be a white person? Even though in the word, which has no contradiction, he is clearly called a person of bronze skin. So this is just to look at the truth and to know the roots and hopefully know reality. Get a reality check and love.